I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And today's video is going to be something a little bit different. Week 1 of the NFL season is over. It has concluded at the last night's Monday Night Football game. So today, we're going to look at the power rankings after week 1 of the NFL season. But first things first, I just want to make sure you guys are staying absolutely safe out there. I know there's still a lot going on, so you guys please stay safe. And about 60% of the people that watch my videos are now subscribed to the channel. And if you fit into that, be sure to click that subscribe button down below. And also click that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a brand new video. But let's dive into these rankings. Yes. First team we got first is the New York Jets. I'm not surprised by this one at all. The Jets, I've said in a previous video, my top 5 teams to downfall, that this team will be one of the ones to downfall. I don't think Sam Darnold is necessarily the guy with the Jets, and they just have a lot of issues, especially at the wide receiver position. Le'Veon Bell is not the same player, so this doesn't surprise me. And they trailed the entire game against Buffalo, so this Jets team is not going to be any good. Number 31, the Carolina Panthers. This team is a lot better than this. I really feel that this team is a lot better than 31st. Teddy Bridgewater had a solid game. Christian McCaffrey, one of the better backs in the league. Robbie Anderson is proven to be a decent weapon for them. I think they're better than 31st. I don't see this team being this low. They're better than 31st. So we got number 30, the Cincinnati Bengals. Honestly, this team is still on a rebuild. Joe Burrow really looks solid as for his first NFL start. I mean, you can't expect but only so much from a guy that's making his first career start and is a brand new rookie, first overall pick. So, I mean, this Bengals team still has a lot of work to do, but they're about right on this list. So, it is what it is. The Bengals not going to be really good this year. I'll probably max about 4 of the 5 wins. So, even with the healthy AJ Green, I don't think this team's still going to be too much. 29, the Cleveland Browns. I've had high hopes for this Browns team, but they are a big disappointment. I think this team is going to be a huge what if. Because how they looked against Baltimore, Baker Mayfield, he's not turning out to the guy that he was his rookie year. This team is just a huge disappointment, especially getting blown out like that by the Ravens. Even though the Ravens is one of the top elite teams in the NFL, but you don't expect the Browns team that has the weapons that they have on both sides of the ball to look like this. So, are they going into the old Browns again? Maybe. Just maybe. At 28, we had the Detroit Lions. I'm glad they lost. They lost to my Bears. But the thing about this Lions team is they're not really that bad. Just watching them and how they performed against the Bears, they did choke the game away. They've had a habit the last couple of seasons of choking away games. But this Lions team is not really that bad. They did miss Kenny Golladay a lot. He's a huge weapon and a huge part of their offense. They went down with Okuda got hurt. Trufant got hurt during the game. But this Lions team offensively is a bit more balanced than it's been in previous years with Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, and DeAndre Swift in the backfield. So it's better than what 28th. I think this team could be better than that. It's just the way they blew that lead, which I'm glad they did. The way they blew that lead against my Bears, it's just, I think it's, how can I put this? It's just an old habit re-showing itself. But next we have the New York Giants, my Bears opponent for next week. They looked bad offensively. And for the Steelers to hold Saquon to only 6 yards rushing, that offensive line did not really block that well. The offensive line did not play well at all. Bud Dupree had a field day. TJ Watt was on the field making plays. And Cam Hayward even got an interception. So, this Giants team, I think the bottom of the league is about where they are. They still have a lot of improvement to do. And it better take place after this Sunday against the Bears. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. I can expect them to be that low. Ryan Fitzpatrick is just not that guy. They're waiting for Tua to come along. I don't think Tua is necessarily ready as far as 100% fully healthy, or it's just I think they want to sit him for a little bit so he can get acclimated and things like that. But around the bottom is where this Dolphins team belongs. They lost a lot the last couple of years, and they're just not that good. So next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team I expected to be at the bottom. They did pull off a 27-20 upset against the Colts. I still don't think this team is going to be any good. Despite the win last week, I still don't think this team is going to be any good. It's just the Colts really didn't play that well, and yeah, this Jaguars team is not going to be any good. So don't expect too high from this Jaguars team at all. Don't expect this pattern to really continue. They play hard. They're just not really talented anymore. Next up, we have the Colts, the team that the Jaguars beat. Phillip Rivers, I mean, he's still there. It's just something is missing with this Colts team. And then on top of that, Marlon Mack is down for the year with an Achilles tear. Is it time for this Colts team to panic? It says here. I don't know about panic, but it's trying to press the concern button because the running game should be key. And with Marlon Mack going down, that's a huge loss for this Colts team. So we'll see how that team goes going forward. But I don't see a playoffs out of this team. I don't. But number 23, the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan may not be the guy in Atlanta. He may not be the guy. He did throw for 450 last week, but at the end of the day, that was just, I think more of that was just playing from behind versus just him going off for a great day. Russell Wilson had a field day against this defense. So, and a struggle with the Falcons have always been off defense. And I don't think it was the best move to bring Dan Quinn back as the head coach. I really don't believe that was the best move for the Falcons. I think it was really time for them to move on from Dan Quinn. That's just my opinion on that. I think it was time for them to get a head coaching change. It really was. Number 22 is my Chicago Bears. Middle of the pack is honestly where I think this Bears team is. They won last week, but man, do we have a lot of things to correct. The middle of our defense was getting exposed, and the offensive line necessarily didn't play particularly great. And now I've said this before, Nagy does not use Trubisky's full skill set as an athlete. So I could see this is right around where he belongs, maybe a little bit higher than 22, but I don't think this Bears team is bad. It's just the thing is, it's really a lot of room for improvement, especially in the middle of the defense. And they've got to get that fourth quarter intensity throughout the entire game and not wait till too late, because you can't do that in this league consistently win. You can't do that. So if they could bring this fourth quarter energy throughout the course of every game, then maybe you were talking about something. But a little bit higher than 22, but I can see this Bears team is middle of the pack at this very moment. 21, the LA Chargers. They did get the ugly win against the Cincinnati Bengals. The ground game was looking pretty solid. The passing game still needs work, but they have a tough schedule coming up, so we'll really see what this Chargers team is really going to look like. And I think this team on paper could have had a chance to be good, a really good football team. But when you lose Derwin James in your quarterback position, although I like Tyrod Taylor, I don't think he's that guy that can carry this offense into maybe 12-4 type of record that they had in 2018. I don't think he's that type of quarterback that can carry this team for that. So, the Chargers team is still pretty good with Bosa and Ingram on defense, but the loss of Derwin James and it's just going to hurt them a lot in the back end of the defense. Number 20, we have the Houston Texans. Honestly, this team truly misses DeAndre Hopkins. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about this. This team really misses the presence of DeAndre Hopkins on the offensive side of the ball. Will Fuller had a really good game against Kansas City, but who knows if that's going to continue. And with his injury history, it says no. But this defense is a lot better than it was. It's playing a whole different style. But when you're playing against the Chiefs offense with so many weapons like that, you can't really stop them or slow them or contain them. You can contain them and slow them down, but you can't really stop the offensive mind that is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and the weapons that they have on offense. But this Houston team, I see they really miss DeAndre Hopkins, and I think that's going to show more throughout the course of this season. Number 19 is the Washington football team, who surprisingly came back against Philly and looked very well, especially with the pass rush with my guy Chase Young from The Ohio State University. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback from The Ohio State University, didn't really play too well, but he did enough, and he made enough plays to get this Washington football team over the hump against Philly. And this pass rush is really going to be looking good. Even though the Eagles' offensive line missed Lane Johnson, I still think this Washington defensive line is really solid. Of course, Chase Young, that's my guy, but this team is a little bit in the middle of the pack. Offensively is where it remains to be seen if that 27 points can continue, and Dwayne Haskins still has to improve, but they really surprised me by coming back from a 17-0 lead against the Eagles last week. At number 18, we have the Denver Broncos. If it wasn't for the Gostkowski missing those 4 field goals, they probably lost by a lot more. The Titans' offense really struggled to move the ball and get into scoring range and to make those field goal opportunities and the touchdowns. So Denver still has some work to do. They're really young, but missing Von Miller for the year, and Cortland Sutton was unable to play. A.J. Bouye went down. Philip Lindsay went down. This team has had the potential to be a solid, very solid team, but the injuries, I feel, is going to kill them. Injuries are killing them right now. They are killing the Broncos right now. Drew Lock looked decent, but the injuries are really killing this football team right now. Up next, you have the Dallas Cowboys. This team, like I figured, was middle of the pack. They have potential to be good. Offensively, they've looked solid, but the problem is always defense, and the problem is always injuries. Whether it was Sean Lee in the past, Vander Esch struggling to stay healthy. This team, it's always been defense. For me, about this Cowboys team, it's always been defense. Even with Jason Garrett before Matt McCarthy now, it's always been defense. Always been defense. They spent a lot of money on offense, but the defense lost Byron Jones. This defense needs work. Against the Rams team, which I think wasn't that great offensively with the pieces to begin with, Malcolm Brown had a field day against this defense. This defense needs work. Up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm kind of surprised that they pulled off the win in Carolina. I had Carolina winning that game. Derek Carr looks solid, but Josh Jacobs, man, this Josh Jacobs guy is going to be special. He's going to be a very special back within this league. He's going to be special. That guy is going to be absolutely special. That guy's special. Josh Jacobs, I can't say that enough. That guy's going to be a real focal point of that offense. The defense still needs a little bit of work, but this Vegas team is still, we're saying Vegas. Josh Jacobs is clearly going to be the head of that offense. Clearly going to be the head. Next up, Tampa Bay at 15, middle of the pack. I've said this in a couple of videos this offseason. I don't see this Buccaneers team being Super Bowl contenders. I don't. Tom Brady struggled. The defense of Tampa Bay was a lot better than I expected, but they made too many mistakes against the Saints. Brady threw on 2 picks, including a pick 6. They converted only 5 for third downs, 9 penalties for 103 yards, it says here. I was watching that game in and out. This Buccaneers team, I don't think are Super Bowl contenders like people make them out to be. Tom Brady, he's aging. He's 42. I've said this in a lot in my past videos. I don't see this Buccaneers team being a Super Bowl contender. And you're playing the Saints team that was a few mistakes away from being probably a Super Bowl appearing team themselves. So, the defense, and Levante David is one of the most underrated linebackers in football. He had a really, really solid game. Devin White played well. I've always said the secondary for the Buccaneers is going to need work. Front 7 is solid, but the secondary needs work still. So, yeah, the middle of the pack is where this Bucs team really belongs to me, to be honest with you. At 14, we have the Eagles. I don't think they're middle of the pack. I don't think this team is as good as they're. This team cannot stay healthy at all. This team cannot stay healthy at all. And then to let up a 17-0 lead against the Washington football team, and you surrender 27 unanswered points. I've said that in my top 5 downfall video that this Eagles team, I think, is going to be in a downfall. I really think it's going to be on a downfall. I don't think it's as good as critics and everybody else makes this Eagles team out to be. I just don't see it. They look like they were going to prove me a bit wrong, but I just don't see this Eagles team being as good as everybody thinks. And to lose Malcolm Jenkins, a leader like that on your defense, it's not. I don't think this Eagles team is going to be that good. And then they can't stay healthy at all. So, number 13, we have the Tennessee Titans. Gostowski missed 4 field goals. At the same time, Derrick Henry still had a really solid game. And the Titans belong in the middle of the pack. They escaped with the win, which I think they could have had more points. They left more points out on this field. But it's a little bit of concerns as far as execution offensively. They should have had a lot more points than 16, especially when they were in Broncos territory a lot. So, I feel this Titans team is right about there, but the offense and the inability to convert touchdowns is a little bit concerning. Number 12, we have the LA Rams. They did pull off a win against Dallas, but like I said about Dallas defense is not very good. And then you throw on top of that Vander Esch going down in the middle of the game. And, this Rams team can be competitive. I just don't see them making the playoffs this year. Even with the 7th added spot, I just don't see them making the playoffs with San Francisco and Seattle ahead of them in the division. And Arizona looking very well. And I haven't seen Arizona in this list yet, so I don't see this Rams team making the playoffs. I really do not. I just don't. I don't see them this high either. I still don't see this. They did play well defensively. Aaron Donald was a freaking bully. But it's not looking good for this team to make the playoffs this year. They're 12, which is surprisingly high for me. Number 11 is Minnesota. Once again, Minnesota. I don't feel it's going to be that high. I still don't trust Kirk Cousins. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I never have, and I don't think I ever will. Every time he gets up against good teams, the teams that are really competitive and really great teams, he struggles. He really, really struggles, and his defense lost a lot. They did bring in Yannick Ngakoue, but he's still adjusting a little bit to the rhythm of the the defense. And to lose Everson Griffin, to lose Xavier Rhodes, this defense I don't think it's going to be as good as people think. And for Green Bay to torch him like the way they did without adding any wide receiver weapons, this Minnesota Vikings defense can be in trouble, and I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all. So to have them this high, I don't believe in that. Number 10, New England. It's still a wait out to be seen because they played Miami. And honestly, Miami is not very good. It's really not very good. So it still remains to be seen if this New England team can really sustain that consistency that they've been having without Tom Brady. But you expected them to beat this Dolphins team regardless. So as they're number 10, they're definitely top half. But at the same time, it's still a wait and see on this Patriots team. It's still a wait and see. So top 10, top 15 is about ready to belong. It's a wait and see. Number 9, San Francisco 49ers. I mean, Jimmy G, honestly, he's more looking like an Alex Smith. He's looking more like a game manager type of quarterback. Which isn't bad in the way they run their offense. It's just the Niners defense got really attacked by the Cardinals offense. Which I figured the Cardinals offense was going to be a lot better. DeAndre Hopkins torched them. And I figured Richard Sherman is not one of the top corners. I'll just say that blasphemy right now. Cardinals look very good offensively against this San Francisco defense that really, they lost DeForest Buckner in free agency, and I think that hurted them. It's just this secondary I don't think it's as good as people say it is. So it's still going to be a competitive team. The running game is something that needs to be a little bit better, but it was inconsistent. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who I didn't see them as being this high, but this team is a lot better. It's a lot better. This team is a lot better than a lot of people say. Kyler Murray played excellent football through the air and through the ground with his legs. Kyler Murray played really good football. This Arizona defense is very underrated, led by Chandler Jones and Patrick Peterson, and Budda Baker. So this Cardinals team, I said it in my top 10 improvement video that this Cardinals team was going to be very good this year. It's going to be very good. It still remains to be seen if Kyler Murray can stay consistent in his sophomore season, but this team is really going to be good this year. At number 7, we have the Buffalo Bills, another uprising team. I mean, they did beat the New York Jets, which are trash. So they did almost let up a 21-0 lead in this game. Josh Allen looked really, really solid. Why do I keep clicking my right mouse? I don't know. But this Buffalo Bills team is going to win the AFC East. I'm saying that right now. I said that in my video. They're going to win the AFC East. And for them they really just dominated this game outside of a few mistakes against this Jets team. Even though the Jets are trash. But this Bills team is going to be good. Number 6, we have those damn Green Bay Packers. I hate to admit this as a Bears fan, but this Packers team is very, very good. This Packers team is really, really good. I hated to even admit that. I almost wanted to throw up saying those words that this team is going to be good, but I had to call a spade a spade. Aaron Rodgers looked really, really well. And Devontae Adams is very emerging into one of those top receivers. This Packers team is dangerous. I hate to even say that as a Bears fan, but this team is dangerous. The defense is very, very good defense. So this Packers team is going to be scary. I hate to even say it. Let's move on. Number 5, Pittsburgh. Number 5? Yeah. Not top 5. They did look solid against New York. The Giants. But top 5 Steelers. Top 10 maybe, but top 5. I think I will put Green Bay ahead of Pittsburgh. I would put Green Bay ahead of Pittsburgh. Even Benny Snell Jr. looked really, really good with James Conner going down. This team is going... I mean, I still put Green Bay above them now. As much as it pains me to say that. But, I don't know. Not top 5. Still a good Steelers team, but not top 5. Defense can be there, but I don't see them above Green Bay right now. Number 4, we have Seattle. I mean, that's about where I will see Seattle top 5. Russell Wilson look. I think he could be MVP this year. I really feel Russell Wilson can be the MVP of this league. If he keeps this consistent play, I really feel Russell Wilson can win the MVP this year. I honestly see it. And DK Metcalf is looking like a very, very good steal with 3rd round pick last year. So, and Tyler Lockett looked very well as well. The running game looks good. The defense still needs to improve a little bit, but they are still a really good unit. This Seattle team is dangerous. And I can see Russell Wilson winning MVP. Number 3, we have the Saints. They struggled a bit, but on both sides of the ball, they looked solid. Alvin Kamara looked really, really good. He looked really, really good against this Buccaneers team. He would have had 3 touchdowns if one of them, he didn't step out of bounds before reaching the pylon. He was scored 3 times. So, I really feel this Saints team is very dangerous as well. The defense is still very good. Picking off Brady twice and taking it back for the touchdown on one of them. This Saints team is really, really dangerous. And Drew Brees, the experience, the leadership he has at the quarterback position. He did not play a particularly well game, and they still scored 34 points. So, yeah, this Saints team is really, really good. Number 2, we have the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I can't say too much more about this team. Dominant defense. Lamar Jackson still looks great. Even though you were playing the Browns, which should have been better than that. Should have been better than that. But that also speaks a test to how really good this Ravens team really, really is. That speaks to how good this Ravens team really is. So, number 2 is right where I would have them. Right where I would have them. And, of course, we have number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, defending champions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked like a beast Thursday night. Mahomes didn't have necessarily the greatest of games, but he was very efficient. He was very efficient with the football. And they ran the ball a lot more, which is expected the way Clyde Edwards-Helaire was playing. In a defense, I questioned the defense, but it's looking like that was a bad move to question him. His defense is playing really, really well. So, yeah, the Chiefs belong at number 1. You have to dethrone the champs, or the champs just have to stink up the joint in that. Neither one of those are happening right now. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you agree or disagree with my thoughts or the rankings, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. And keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter. But ABW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. I'm on Twizzling Words. Have a great next Sunday. Have a great next Sunday, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
I wanna say thank you to my mom and my daddy for making love the night that you had me. Wanna thank my friends, my sister, and my brother.